And now, David, in close-up, the fight to block health care reform.
That's right, as the conservative media deliberately trying to avoid any fact-checking when it comes to Republican talking points. Yesterday, Republicans released this chart purporting to show the candy land of new agencies and red tape they say healthcare reform will create. In the release from Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy, quote, "Why should any patient be required to give control of their health care over to this Faustian pit of Washington bureaucracy?" The conservative media picked up the chart and ran with it, and the talking points, and of course, the chart were everywhere within 24 hours. Democrats say the chart has nothing to do with the health care bill they've proposed. So who has the responsibility to sift through the spin and get at the truth? Joining us now is Karl Frisch, Senior Media Fellow at Media Matters for America. Karl, thanks for coming in. Is this another example of, at least with some of the conservative media, it's to their strategic benefit not to bother checking things out?
I think so. I mean, really what it is a textbook example of the right-wing noise machine. A Republican politician pushes something out to the press, Matt Drudge picks it up, puts it on his website, and then Fox News starts running with it show after show after show, and then a few more outlets pick it up, and before you know it, something that was confined to a press release is in the front of millions of Americans sitting at home.
Likewise, I mean, if the Democrats make a claim about this not being the chart, there's a responsibility on some of us if we're going to say, okay, this is not the Democratic plan to also go through, which is something we try to do and try to figure out. And there were clear examples why this chart was inaccurate. But again, there's a responsibility on everybody. And I wonder what happens to a political debate when you have some news organizations who are doing their due diligence, who are trying to check things out, and you have others who don't want to.
Well, that's the big problem here. For 70 years, conservative interest groups, conservatives in general, have been attacking health care reform plans as something socialist that we should all be afraid of. This chart is no different. It fits right into that plan. They actually did something very, very similar in 1994, so it's nothing unique. It's nothing original. It's recycled garbage. And I think the American people, you look at polls, 72% want a public option. They want a solution. They don't want a fourth grade, ability to use Microsoft Publisher. They want real answers.
Now, as far as healthcare is concerned, if we were to try to chart the flow chart now as it currently stands with for-profit insurance companies and the bureaucracy and the administrators that often stand between you and your doctors, would it be simple or would it be complicated?
It would be very complicated. I mean, when I first saw this chart, I thought, what are they trying to say? Healthcare is complicated? No kidding. We all know that. 40 million Americans know that this is a complicated problem. I actually did some digging of my own and found the Republican plan chart all drawn up in great detail, and I'd like to show it to you right there. I mean, that's how easy it is to put something out there like this or like that chart when we could be having a serious discussion about the ups and downs of any policy discussion.
Karl Frisch from Media Matters. Karl, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
And Tamron, again, it just underscores the challenge that a lot of us have. I mean, for those of us, you and I, Tamron, who do want to do the due diligence, it's sort of an unfair playing field when there are others like, oh, no, look at this chart. This is it.
And it is unfair, obviously, to the viewer and those many Americans who want to see which way this country will go with health care when, if this is the case, someone or an organization or whatever side of this deliberately tries to confuse. And that obviously makes it unfair to the people.